Yes, how are you? How's it going? How's it going?
And now more than ever, we need a progressive champion like Juan at the State House. We know the federal government has failed to keep pace with the scale and scope of this crisis. And we know that we'll be digging out for a while, given the three conflated crises we find ourselves navigating: a global pandemic, the economic hardship that it has wrought, and a national reckoning on racial injustice. And so we need people that will stand in the gap. We need people that will stand in the gap and make sure that those closest to the pain are closest to the solutions, because this is not just about how we meet the most immediate needs, but it's about how we ensure that we don't recover from this pandemic to an insufficient, unjust status quo normal. This pandemic has really laid bare all the inequities and disparities and racial injustices that aren't naturally occurring. They were created. They were created because of short-sighted, discriminatory, and draconian policies. Since this is Black History Month, well, it's Black history every day because Black history is American history. But I always love to bring Coretta Scott King into the room because I don't think she gets enough credit. She's like many Black women who expended great labor and is often rendered a historical footnote in history. Coretta Scott King was more than a wife and a widow. She was a justice seeker. She was a truth teller. She was a visionary. And my favorite quote of hers is this. Coretta Scott King said, "I must remind you that starving a child is violence. Neglecting school children is violence. Punishing a mother and her family is violence. Discrimination against a working man is violence. Ghetto housing is violence. Ignoring medical need is violence. Contempt for poverty is violence." It's the end of the quote. But this is why we need Juan, because we have to disrupt this policy, this cycle of intergenerational policy violence that has been very precise in the hurt and harms that it has caused to Black and brown and marginalized communities. Now, Juan isn't new to service. He's dedicated his life to community, and we need him. He's will remain rooted in community, and he will bring his lived experiences to the halls of power. He has critical lived experience and perspective from working as an hourly wage worker, to a former staffer on Beacon Hill, to a labor organizer working to support thousands of frontline workers. He is uniquely positioned and prepared, as my granddaddy used to say, for such a time as this. As we confront crises of public health, economic inequality, and systemic racism, it's now more important than ever that we elect leaders like Juan, who remain intentionally in close proximity to community and who will advocate bold, transformative policies. I know that Juan will be more than an ally. He will be an intentional accomplice in the work of climate justice, of housing justice, of economic justice, and of racial justice. But I know he will not shy away from amplifying his voice with righteous rage and indignation for those who have historically been ignored, left out, and left behind. And I know that he'll do all of that motivated by the most important thing, and that is radical love. So I'm very proud to endorse him. I'm so encouraged by all of you who have come together this evening. And I can't wait for us to deliver this victory. So do everything you can as we head into GOTV. Remember that support is a verb. It is a demonstrated action, and we need to do it all. Call your loved ones that live in district and make sure that they have a plan to vote. Sign up for a phone bank, a canvas shift. Sign up for multiple phone bank and canvas shifts. And consider signing up for the 2 p.m. canvas shift, which is tomorrow, where I will be joining you in Revere, rain or shine. It's critically important that we have progressive champions in every level of government, from your local municipal leaders to your state house reps and senators, and all the way to Congress. We need to do everything we can in the next 4 days to deliver Juan to the State House. And I know that we are just getting started on the work that we'll do together, but on the victories that we'll realize together, because organized power is realized power. So thank you, family. Thank you for supporting this progressive champion. And let's get out the victory.